Hi, if you're on here on replay, thank you and welcome. This is a live broadcast over on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about the weeks, why it's ideal for tracking. So who is here with me in studio joining me today? Say hello if you're on here. Let me know what state or country you're from. That would be great. And again, it's going to be about weeks and why it's ideal for tracking. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Hi, Maria. You caught me live. Can't stay long, unfortunately. No worries, Michelle. Thank you for joining anyway. Hey, Babette. You can always watch on replay. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Miss Tagestromer. Sorry, I forget your actual name. Hey, Bree. Hello, everybody. Hey, Brandy. How are you? So it is Monday, a beautiful day outside. I don't know where you guys are at. Let me know here what state or what country you're from. And let me know what your weather's like. Over here in California, it's about, I think, 75, 80. It's still warm, but it's nice. Hi, Jackie. And so welcome to another broadcast. Today is Vlogtober day 22. A beautiful 70s. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect weather. Beautiful and bright in Toronto. Maryland, 45. Ooh, that's getting cold. Maine, it's cold, 45. Okay, yeah, it's the 22nd, right? So, wow. Vlogtober 22. Can you believe it? It's almost Halloween. I can't believe it. It just seems like it's gone so quickly. Anyway, I am here today to share on weeks and why it is ideal. And Brandy is in the 70s. That's nice weather. And so we're going to talk about weeks. I briefly shared, I think it was day 18 that I shared about it a couple of days ago. I need to get Halloween costumes for the kids still. Hi, Rowanol. Hello, Miriam. Hi, Maria, or Marissa, sorry. So anyway, yeah, it's day 22 of Vlogtober, and I had talked about the weeks on the 18th, Vlogtober 18. I talked a little bit briefly about the weeks, and someone had a question on there asking why it's ideal for tracking and why I had mentioned that I really liked using it for tracking. And actually next year, that is going to be my, I'm going to be using that for tracking purposes for 2019, and I'm going to be purchasing the Mega Weeks. In fact, I already got it. I'm just waiting for it to ship. And so I really liked it last year for tracking, and what I do is I track between, well, I will track certain things at certain times of the year, and then I'll stop because I don't really necessarily have the need to track one thing throughout the whole year. And so I go in and out of the weeks and I'll track certain things. Now this coming year, I'm probably going to want to track my social media because I'm putting a little bit more effort into the social media this year. And so that is something that is part of my goal for 2019. So I'll probably want to track that in full. So anyway, someone asked how and why it would be ideal to track with the weeks. And so I thought about it, and I looked at the different ways that I did it and also came up with new ways. And so I'm going to check out, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it right now, the different things that I've found. So I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see what my weeks looks like. So hang on here. You ordered the Medana colored weeks? Me too, Sarah. We're going to be twinsies. That should be coming in soon. So, well, actually, I think November. Okay, so show you a couple of things. There are different parts of the weeks, as many of you know. And this is just a couple of examples on what you can do with it. It's very versatile. And again, this is just what I'm thinking of as I'm thinking of ways to track different things. I came up with a couple of things, but I'm not necessarily going to use it that way. We'll just have to see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of things that I want to track all year. And then I'm going to make another list of what's our possible things that I am going to track. And so with those two lists, because I want to make sure that I use it to fully, as much as I possibly can on for 2019. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check, I'm going to list that and see which ones are I'm going to want to use. And I don't want to kind of mess up my book. And so that's why I'm going to make that list. So I would suggest making a list and just putting on there what things you want to use it for, possibilities. Like there's things like movies, if you want to track shows that you're watching, if you want to track I mean, there's so many things, right? If you want to track your job, your work, your mileage, all of that. And so here's the first part of the tracking that I know for sure I am going to use is in this first 2 pages. The first page is going to show you the dates of the 2018 and 2017, the year past, current, and then the year after, or the year that coming up, which is 2019 right here. And so on this page here, it gives you the months, right? January through December. Can you guys see this okay? Is it pretty clear? Okay, so one of the things that I tracked this year, and I was very diligent in tracking, are my trips. And I put them here. And what I would do is I would take the date is here, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, etc., and then the month is up here. So what I did is I would track what days I was going to be gone. And the reason I did this, and I thought it was very important for me, is because I want to be able to look at a glance and see when I'm not going to be able to be at the studio to work, so that I can figure out what goes where. I use those pages to track my weight and other girly things. Oh, good idea. But so that's what I do. I track them so that I can see that, okay, I'm going to be here this week and I better get this done up to this point because I'm going to be gone. And so that's why I have it tracked here, because travel is one of my major things that I do. And so in my opinion, what is most important, I mean, you could do this different ways, but to me, what's the most important that I really want to track for the whole year, I'm probably going to put on this page. And so, and the nice thing about the weeks is that you can easily whip it out, right? You could have your journal in your purse, but you can also have the weeks for your tracking, and it's lightweight. It's not going to be heavy. If you have a journal that's an A5, if you're not going to use the A5 for tracking, you can do it to this. So that's kind of nice. And I can also take this in my travels because it's light enough. So that's what this is. So right here, this is typically what I do for the dates. I put a straight line, and then I do these hash mark. That means that's the start and that's the end date. And so as you can see here at a glance, that's how many trips I've taken this year. And over here, this is just an example of what I did for social media, for example. On here, what I did is like I put Instagram, YouTube, and a business book or two that I'm reading. And to me, it's very important that I keep abreast of what's going on in the business world, as well as get new ideas, business oriented. And so that is something I would like to track, is to make sure that on a weekly basis, I'm putting time in to read or to watch videos or watch a lecture about business. And so that's where I could track it. And again, YouTube, when I upload, I can track it here. And also Instagram, I could track that here. So this is for me personally, this is what I can see for myself. So anything can be tracked on here. And it looks like size-wise, you can track 3 things per month. Okay, per month you can track 3 things comfortably. So I divided this by 3. Okay, so that's one way to track. Also in these here, in the monthly spread, you can track something else on here. For example, I've seen people not just track, but also write a scripture verse in each of these. I've seen that done and it's really beautiful. Yes, it is a beautiful tab, isn't it? I got it from this girl named Art Journal Girl from Robin. Those are your tabs, the ones that I just received. So yes, it's very pretty. And so you can track things in here. You can track your exercise as well. And on here, you can write notes. Let's say that you tracked all of your steps, for instance, you can track that. And on here, you can do all that outside of scheduling. You can also put your schedule on here. But here you could write a note and kind of your observation. My first week, I did this, and I felt really good. And I do need to drink more water though, however. You know, you could write those kind of notes here. So that's another area you can track something in. Again, you may track it for this month, and then the following month, you may not track it again. The same thing. So that's why I love the weeks for that. It's very versatile. And it's funny because I didn't realize how much I actually use this week's. There's hardly any pages that do not have something in it. It's not necessarily all for tracking, but I did actually use this. I thought there were a lot more empty pages. Anyway, so that's another part you could track. And then, let's see. As I've said on the other, on day 18, I take the information for my trips. I put a washi to designate that that's a trip, so it's easy to find. And then any information about the trip, I put within that week. Flight information, confirmations for the hotels, etc., places I want to go to, I'm hoping to visit. I write all of that in here. About what size are the monthly squares? Someone can answer that if they'd like. I do not have a, at least an inch long, but I do not have a ruler. Okay, so someone else can answer that if you guys know the answer. So here's another place where you can do the tracking, okay? And I just picked this because it's an empty space that I had. So this is the daily, or the weekly, I'm sorry. This is the weekly area where you can track. So I'm giving some examples here. Here, the first example is you can track your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. You can write down what your breakfast was and your lunch and your dinner. You could write down on here, I wish I was at 148 right now. So that this is just an example. On here, I wrote 148, that meant pounds, okay? And then my H2O, which is water intake, you could put dots to signify how many 4 ounce or 8 ounce waters that you drink. Here you could put your steps, okay? And then you could write a note to encourage yourself. For instance, no snack today. Went to bed early to avoid snacking. That, I think, is kind of key, because you can remind yourself and really assess what you did that day. And that's what's great about tracking, you guys. It really, a lot of times we think, oh, I eat super healthy, I eat vegetables all the time. But if you track it, you can kind of start to really understand and realize, you know, I only ate vegetables at one meal. I actually didn't eat that many vegetables. And so that's a good way to really have a true, accurate understanding of what it is that you're doing, and that's a way for you to make those changes. Now, of course, if you lied about it, like on my weight here, again, this is just a sample I wanted to write out for you guys, then that won't work. So be truthful about it. You know, no one has to see this. So that's one way, one thing you can track here. Another thing you can track that I really, really like is this one here, okay? And I know I sometimes struggle with getting in my time with the Lord. And so here you can see where you're really in the Word or where you're not, okay? So this is for spiritual things. So here you could write down your, the verse or the whole chapter that you read, for instance, that particular day. So here I read Psalm 56, okay? Then you choose one verse that really spoke to you. And sometimes, honestly, especially with things, with books like, let's say, Leviticus, maybe something doesn't quite speak to you, but the act of writing something down, maybe it'll spark something. And I have found that I can always find something in a chapter that will speak to me, whether I think, wow, Moses, why would you do that? You know, that right there, whatever it was that he did, or a disobedience or what have you, you can use that as a verse. And so you can basically use anything. So here what I wrote is, what spoke to me is the verse that says, when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. In God whose word I praise, what can mere man do to me? And then from there, that verse I wrote, then I expound on it over here. And so I wrote, why am I afraid? Have I not given my life to him who is the one who gave me life and has my days numbered? Do I now not trust because of a bit of conflict with mere man? So there you go. So if you do this on a daily basis, and in the days that you miss, you will see and have a really good account of whether you actually were in the Word or not. So it's basically the same thing as with this diet one, right? You're just tracking so that you can kind of get an idea of where you really are at. We went through that verse today in homeschool. Cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And it's funny because I wrote this over the weekend, and I just did a study this morning, and it was on being afraid. And so here's another verse that is speaking to me in light of the study this morning, which is about fear. So really cool. So here again, you can put your personal thoughts, you can write your gratitude, you can write a prayer list of people who asked you to pray. I mean, you can use this for all sorts of things, right? So let's say you don't really have anything to expound on, or you don't have a verse maybe that you feel really spoke to you or can expound on. You can write these things. You could write a gratitude instead, or again, a prayer list of people that you're praying for. Okay, so that's another way. Now this is another way here, which is those challenges. How many of us do those challenges of like lettering challenges or Inktober, for example? And let's say that you just want to make a small contribution to it as far as the challenge is concerned, and you don't want to do a whole book. So here you go. You can use it for that. You do your lettering, There's your ink drawing, or even challenge yourself to come up with a flower for the drawing of some sort of flower for the month of October, or faces for the month of November, or leaves for the month of December, you know. So you can do that. And then here, you can also write quotes. This is a good quote. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it, by Charles Swindoll. So there's that. And then over here, you can do, for example, work-related. You can talk about the day of your work to track, to see. A lot of times for me, I have so many different variety of things that I need to do on a regular basis for work. Sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place, and then I think, did I even get any work done? Did I even make any headway? And this is a good way to track it, okay? So at the end of the day, you could write out work went well, accomplished much, got ahead on production, ordered field notes. You know, you can give yourself a quick overview of what you did that day. And then if you want to track your hours, for example, here, this is a mock-up, 7:30 to 9, I did emails, 9 to 10 research, 10 to 10:30 website, 10:30 to noon design, 12 to 1 lunch, 1 to 2 ship, 2 to 3 inventory, 3 to 5 a meeting. That meeting is actually a coffee run. Just kidding. Again, this is just an example. But there you go. So that's a different way of tracking in these pages, which is the weekly pages. Now, there's something that I would just, I thought of while I was doing this, is that a lot of times what was kind of a struggle for me, when I would look at my page, I can barely see these numbers or the day, because I'm so used to things starting on Sunday, and it's a habit, and I always think it starts on a Sunday, and it doesn't. It starts on a Monday. So what I began to do is I would begin to write on it and write down in letters, big letters, Monday, Tuesday, or whatever. So that's something you might want to do so that it's easy to see. So here, that's what I did. I stamped it. I bought a new stamp as I was trying it out. And then I put a square around it, a rectangular shape. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at quick glance, I know what day it is. Because honestly, I had a hard time last year, or this year, because it was hard to just at a glance see it really quick. So that's one way. Also, the last subscription that we sent out, as you may have seen, I had asked Brittany, Olives and Carrots, to put together a sticker sheet for me for weeks, because I knew I was sending out the weeks, and I knew that she makes stickers for the weeks. So I asked her to make something specifically for Sojourner, and I believe she sells this now in her shop. And so that's what this is, and I just want to show you really quick. This is what came with it. This, again, was for the subscription of last year. These are tags, and these are just pieces of paper that you could add to your page. But let me just show you a trick in case you guys are not aware of using the X-Acto blade and things like that. You know how sometimes stickers are really kind of hard to take off of the sheet? And a lot of times when you're trying to line it up, it's very difficult because your hand is on it, and then it gets your fingerprints, and then sometimes that part of the sticky in the back is no longer sticky because you're handling the paper. Because I was a trained graphic designer in the past, I always used an X-Acto blade. I always use an X-Acto blade for all sorts of things, okay? So one of the things I use is, for that exact reason, is I have an X-Acto blade in my studio, and what I do is I just peel this off of here. So I'm just gonna show you guys. Oops, I don't wanna do that one. I wanna do the daily ones. So I would take it, Okay, so that's Monday. So then you can line it up a lot easier. See that? So let me do it again. Here's Tuesday. You're never touching the back of it. You guys might already know how to do this, but I just thought for those who are new, maybe this will help them. Okay. So there's that. Also, you can use a ruler to do this, but one of the things that's really nice and handy, if you use the Hobonichi, you can purchase these are templates for the Hobonichi. Okay, and so what I do, this is nice because you can use this as well. So let's say, here we go, Thursday, and it's nice because it's see-through, right? And you can kind of see behind this, if you need to see what's back there, if you're trying to line something up. It's not necessarily, it doesn't help in this particular case because there's nothing in the background that I'm trying to make sure I miss or I don't hit. But I'm just showing it to you that this is something that you can use for that. So you could use a ruler, you could use a stencil, a clear one is really nice for that, and an X-Acto blade. Okay, just quick tip. And like I said here, you could stamp it if you want instead of using stickers. But on this sticker sheet, there's all kinds of things on here. It's just so cute. You know, you could use this like a Sojourner notebook. You can use this to delineate different activities that maybe you'll track or what have you. Or you could just simply put it in a place to decorate it. Oops. There you go. And in this, you can use the cup of matcha. This one is not so critical to necessarily use a blade because it's a larger piece, so it's easier to hang on to. It's better for the ones that are not, or that are really small. That it works better for those that are small because then you can easily handle it. So you could do that. Oh, do I commit? Yeah, I'll commit. Oh wait, I used this on a part that is, I meant to use it on a different page for next week. I might have to peel those off, but anyway, yeah, so there you go. So you just put this one over here on this side. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna peel these off and put it in the next week's, since I've already passed this one and it's empty. Okay, so the other thing you can do, here's another tracking. Your sleep. This is actually something that I really need to track. I do not get enough sleep. I've never really needed that much sleep. I used to be able to live off of 4 hours of sleep a night and function just fine. And I still can. However, I am trying to get a little bit more sleep because they do say that when you have enough sleep, you actually can lose weight that way. So I'm testing it. So this, I just started this a couple of days ago, and I made this tracking, and this is in the back section where you have the extra pages that are not dated. And on the Mega, there's so many pages, which is beautiful. I just love it. So here it's notes, it's the notes section. This is another place where you can track. You can track collections, like, again, like movies that you watch or want to watch, shows, whatever it is. There's all kinds of things. Your sleep, your work, your study, your mileage. Your Bible reading can be done here instead of in the weekly, if you don't want to use it for that. Your reading of what you're reading that month, things like that. So I made an example here, and this is for October, and I just put a sticker of a bear sleeping right here. And here I wrote the days of October, and I saw this something very similar. I cannot remember where I saw it, but this isn't it. I got this idea from, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think it might have been an Instagram, but if I find it, I will link it below, because that way you could see a different way of doing it as well. Anyway, so I put a bear on here, and I just put the time that usually I am asleep at. I usually don't sleep before 10 o'clock. I just cannot. And so here it's from 10 to 8 o'clock. And then here is the dates. And then from there, I track, like right here, you notice that there's a break because I woke up and didn't get back to sleep until about later on, like 4:30. And so I noted that here. So this is a good way of seeing how much sleep you're getting. A lot of times, again, we say, maybe you say, oh, I need more sleep. I'm just so tired. I never get enough sleep. Well, if you're tracking it, you might go, wow, I actually sleep 10 hours a day. So anyway, that's one way. And then here I just wrote down the different ideas that you could use it for. And then here I did another one. And this is on social media. You know, whether it's because you're trying to upload and you have a YouTube channel and all of that, you want to track that, or maybe you're trying to track how much you're really on social media and you're trying to not be on social media so much. And so here I just put the different social media icons, and this is just an example. Actually, this is true because I actually did do these. I went back to go look. And so here it shows you on Instagram, this is how much that I posted. Here I put, this one is the Instagram TV. As you can see, there were none this month. And so maybe the following month I want to do more of it. And then the live, Instagram live, I've only done 2 because this month I've been doing the YouTube live, which is denoted here. And then video uploads. So you can track, again, your exercise, your reading list, social, your lectures, whatever. So there you go. That's basically all of what I have to share. And I'm sure many of you have different things that you track. I would love it if you guys could comment below and let me know, let us know, so we can get an idea and get a list of things that we might want to track during the year. And possibly if you're going to end up purchasing a week's, you could possibly see and get an idea of, you know what, I may want to track this. I may want to keep some spaces open, like in the back or what have you. And so Bible time, yes, definitely. So if you would comment that below once this uploads, that would be great. Thank you for hanging out, you guys. It is 4:30 right now, so I need to do a couple more things before I leave for today, but I just wanted to get this out here, and I hope that you can share, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. Let me know, and please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And again, please comment below and let me know what things that you have an idea of that you can track or that you are currently tracking. So until tomorrow, see you guys later, and keep on documenting life as it happens. Bye-bye.